What's up, everybody? Happy New Year from all of us here at the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, alongside Richie Giuliano, Ty Bartell over on the far side, Quinn in the G. Berwick Farms studio. Jamie Thompson makes his comeback, and Billy Mack, probably not a happier person on the face of the earth than that guy right meow. Gentlemen, Happy New Year. How are we doing so far?
Doing good.
Great.
Yep.
Love hearing that. We are Munsonless today, at least thus far in the show, so this is going to be interesting. But I will say this, Paul is getting better. I talked to him earlier today, so anybody that's out there worried about Paul Munson, have no fear. He is okay. He's doing better than he was this time, last week. And we're looking forward to having him back here shortly. So until then, get better, buddy. Appreciate you. And let's get started with the YSN Power Hour. And let's just... We're going to start with National Spaghetti Day, okay? Because that's the day it is today. Our other choices were National Missouri Day, which nobody likes. National Thank God It's Monday Day, which nobody ever says. And National Trivia Day, which kind of pissed me off because it should be tomorrow, being it's Trivia Tuesday. And we still have to iron some things out with that, Mr. Bartell, because nobody wants to take you on. That's just the scuttlebutt that I'm hearing.
I'll retire. You can throw my name and jersey in the rafters, and we'll call it a day for Trivia Tuesday.
Is he going to be like that beast from Star Wars where we just keep him in a cave until somebody wants to take him on? And then we bring them out. Well, we can discuss it. We can discuss either online or off. But happy National Spaghetti Day. Now, my question to you is: there's so many different ways to have spaghetti. Obviously, with all the side dishes and the different sauces. What's your favorite type of spaghetti to have it? Richie, we'll start with you.
I'm like the angel hair spaghetti type of guy, like the thin type of spaghetti. I don't know. I mean, I just don't like the thicker ones. I like the thin slice, and I like a side salad on there, a little ranch on the side salad. It's just, a Sunday Italian meal here at the Giuliano house. So that's how I like my spaghetti. Is
it a sweet sauce or what kind of sauce?
Yeah, it's the sweeter. Yeah. We got like the chunkier tomatoes in there, which my brother doesn't like, but I'm a fan of. So, it works.
Who gets the power ranking? Is it you or your brother?
My brother.
Naturally.
Yeah, I mean it's him, no doubt.
Ty, how about you? How do you take your spaghetti?
Same way as Richie with the angel hair noodle, but I mean I'm more about spice with my spaghetti sauce, and I throw a little bit of Parmesan on it, and I'll do crushed red pepper on top of that. So yeah, I definitely like the spicier side for the sauce of spaghetti.
Wow, that's like you went completely Olive Garden on us right there with how he likes it. Like I thought I should be writing this down. Quinn, we know you don't care, but how do you take your spaghetti?
All kinds. All noodles, all kinds of sauce. Just get some cheese. I love cheese. Put Parmesan on anything and I'll eat it.
All right. We'll put that to the test. Jamie, how about you?
My dad, he makes the best sauce and homemade meatballs. So when he makes his sauce and meatballs, I like when he makes the springs. He usually makes the angel hair, though. I mean, he's making it so he gets his favorite, like Richie. But it's amazing, man. I'm telling you, it is so good.
I love that Jamie called them the springs. Like everybody knew exactly what he was talking about. Billy, how about you?
So in my house, there's no such thing as boxed noodles in the house. Kate makes them homemade every time, and those are the best. And she makes homemade sauce, homemade meatballs. So everything she does is from completely scratch. So from the flour, the egg, the whole nine. So that's the way to take it here.
Better put a ring on it, buddy, because that's not everywhere you go. That you do not take that for granted. Mine. I'm the weird guy, right? So if we've got the the garlic bread, right? I've always done garlic bread growing up. You put the spaghetti in the garlic bread and you make a sandwich out of it. So it's spaghetti sandwiches. Love it. Love spaghetti sandwiches. My favorite way to consume spaghetti, because any other way is just, I mean, I see people do the twist all the time. Who does the twist? Anybody do the twist?
Mm-hmm.
I had a good friend that had to cut his spaghetti up so fine because when he was a little kid, he choked on spaghetti. So ever since then, it's like, might as well be like the alphabet stuff, like the stuff you get in a bowl, the soup. So I'm not a huge fan. A lot more of a fan of spaghetti now than I used to be because we had it so much because it was easy meals and cheap meals. But I like it now. I got a quarter Chinese wife that does excellent spaghetti. So tell me how that correlates, and I will give you a golden star. So, gentlemen, we have concluded the NFL season, and I want to know about surprises. I mean, before the season, Scotty, Quinn, and I actually wrote out where we thought teams would be for all 32 NFL teams. And there was a lot of surprises. I think one of the major ones for me, naturally, the Cleveland Browns. I thought they were an 8-8 team at best. And here they are in the playoffs. And, of course, out of everybody, Michael Page, as soon as he sees us go online, puts up the dog face with the happy dog face. And now he's back to the woof, woof, woof. So we'll talk about the NFL season first, and then we'll talk about that game in particular here in a minute. Betos naturally saying Lions stink. So Jeff's happy. I mean, from this whole season, other than the fact that we got all 17 weeks in, were there any outlying surprises to any of you guys that really stuck out when you laid your head to bed last night?
I mean, I think it's all for Cleveland. I think it's just, we're in the playoffs. I mean, that's a surprise. I mean, it's been so long, and, we beat Pittsburgh too. And the final week of the season, we haven't beat Pittsburgh in 12 years. So, it was a surprise that we actually beat the Steelers for once. And, we're just happy to be in the playoffs. I know we got to face them again next week, and you're going to have all your starters back, DJ. So I think it's going to be a good game, but I think everybody's just surprised throughout Cleveland that we're finally, in that final week.
Ty, any surprises for you?
I mean, I don't know how you can't say how that NFC East turned out as a division. I mean, I've seen teams make wild cards with 7-9 records, right? But to win a division like Washington did with a 7-9 record is absolutely crazy. And I mean, I just thought it was just a surprise to see like all these teams still vying for a playoff spot. Week 17, you saw the Cowboys facing off the Giants, both with Giants had a 5-10 record going into it, and Cowboys were 6-9, and it's like they're both fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know. It was just crazy seeing how bad the NFC East was this year. I mean, we thought it was going to be bad, but we didn't think it would be that bad. I think we all said it was going to be either a Cowboys and Eagles show, and they would at least get 9-10 wins out of it, and not even to get that. I mean, that's crazy that Washington's up. But I mean, I'm kind of rooting for Alex Smith right now. So.
Oh. Everybody's on the Alex Smith bandwagon. I respect him. I do, but like let's be real here. Washington is not going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
This is not going to happen. This cannot happen. Can you imagine? Like, just imagine that right now. You are the worst division in the NFL, and all of a sudden you go on this unbelievable hot streak with a guy with a leg and a half to his name, and he wins the Super Bowl. Like, comeback player of the year. I mean, we got people that want to name the comeback player of the year after Alex Smith, which I think not a bad gesture, not a bad idea. But when you look at it, the Cinderella story's got to fade at some point, right? This can't go on for another 4 weeks.
Not to mention that if Drew Brees gets screwed out of the playoffs again, and it's by Alex Smith this time, and the losing team, he might as well just retire because he can't find a way to the Super Bowl then.
Doug Peterson absolutely stinks too. Get rid of that dude. I don't care if you want a Super Bowl or not. Hey, listen, there's a few teams that if they ever win Super Bowls, the head coaches can write their check for as long as they want. The Eagles are one, the Lions are another, and the Cleveland Browns. If Stefanski wins a Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns, he will never be fired. Like, he will have a ticket as long as he wants to the head coach locker room right there. So I'd be really surprised. But I don't think Peterson. I think Peterson knew that nobody had a chance to fire him because he'll get swallowed up somewhere else and as quick as a split second. Coach Seidel saying also, surprised New England were as bad as they are. I'll admit I was one that thought the system was bigger than the quarterback, but the ageless wonder, TB12, proved him wrong. That's another thing to talk about. Did anybody think that Tampa Bay would be, and I'm going to put quotes around it, this good to be sitting where they are right now and a possibility for another Super Bowl run for TB12?
I think you and I talked about it, DJ, and I don't know if my silent call for MVP was Tom Brady at the beginning of the season because, and I think both you and I both hinted at it before. I mean, this guy took that New England team that had no offensive weapons last year, 10-6 to the playoffs, or 11-5, I think that was their record, and now he's got all these toys. He's got tight ends now, and he's got 3 good receivers now, and it's like he's got all these weapons to go to, and I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, dude's the greatest of all time, and he just continues to prove it year in and year out.
Quinn, what was your big surprise of the 2020 football season?
Probably how bad the Jaguars and Jets are, honestly. Like, they're bad. They're a bad team. And I got to watch the Browns. They went 0-16, and they weren't as dysfunctional as the Jets and Jags, honestly.
I don't know about that.
No, probably the Buccaneers, honestly. They were a lot better than I expected them to be. I think in that little list that we did with Scotty, I think I had them at 9-7 or something like that, which, I mean, they're close, but I didn't see Brady playing as well as he did.
Coincidentally, Scotty had everybody 9-7. Like every football team, they were either 9-7 or 7-9, and then the Browns were like 14-2. God bless Scotty and his just doesn't want anybody to lose, wants everybody to do well, but his team to just do a little better. Jamie, how about you? What was your takeaway? What surprised you about this season?
I mean, naturally, I got to go back to the well with the Cowboys. I mean, just the way we came out and struggled defensively for those first probably about 10 weeks of the season. We played well at the end of last year defensively. We came out, new coordinator, just completely stunk it up. I saw the Buccaneers being good. I had them at 13-3. I actually pulled up the records I thought I were going to have for each team. I had the Cowboys at 12-4. Eagles were supposed to be 10-6. Like the NFC East really was just flipped up on side of its head because you had Cowboys and Eagles finishing 3-4, and then you had football team and Giants finishing 1-2. I just can't believe that, man. It's been a crazy year. Whole lot of fun to watch, though, and congrats to the Browns fans, really. I had them at 7-9.
I mean, there's a lot of people I think that had the Browns at 7-9. One of them, maybe, Billy Mack. Your thoughts?
On what, the Browns or the
NFL surprises? I mean, it could be the Browns.
I think my NFL – so one of the NFL surprises is probably the Dolphins, but you and I both kind of agreed early in the year that was a team to look out for. Mm-hmm. So I can't really claim that. I kind of saw that one coming. I thought the Browns would win 10 games. I didn't think I thought our schedule was weak. I was right about that. Our schedule did stink, although we were the only AFC North team to beat all NFC East teams. I mean, thank God, because we needed every single win to get in. It's crazy how we needed 11 wins to get into the postseason. I think my surprise team is the Bears. I think they're awful. I think they are so bad. Their quarterback play stinks, although he's been playing better. Their defense has been playing better late. Thank God they started off 5-0 because they ended up losing 6 straight and then 1 out to get in. So the Bears are a roller coaster. I see them 1 and done. They were going to get their doors blown off by New Orleans. So.
Mine is going to be, I mean, naturally it's going to be the Browns, but not in the way that you think it is, because I'm not a Browns hater. Like, everybody thinks that all Steelers fans hate the Browns. I'm not a Browns hater. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. Like, a lot. And I was surprised, more or less, that they were able to keep things not only afloat, but turned into like a speedboat whenever OBJ went down. I thought when OBJ went down, that would be the end of the Browns season right there. I didn't think that Baker or Jarvis or the tight ends would kick in. I thought they would affect the running game, and it didn't. They actually are a better team, I think, without OBJ in the lineup. So that was my surprise for the year, and it surprised me. You know, it surprised. There's a lot of people that are surprised that I'm giving credit to the Browns, but they're due credit, which leads us perfectly into yesterday's game with the Browns Steelers, and you have one side of the coin that, oh, you played our JV team. And you have the other side of the coin that, you know, now we're just happy to be here now. Can we just all just step down a little bit, take a breath, and realize that neither of our teams are very good right now? Like, the Steelers are trying to get back on the horse, and the Browns, if you watch, they're falling off. Like, their offense does not scare anybody the way it did against Tennessee, against Baltimore. There is legitimate concern for Browns fans, but And everybody knows there is super concern for Steelers fans when you start out 11-0 and you're kind of limping into the playoffs. I mean, your thoughts on the game yesterday? We'll start with Mac because we'll go reverse skate here.
I'm very excited that the Browns are in the playoffs. You got seniors in high school that have never seen this happen before, so it's a pretty cool thing. This is not common. Hopefully, it's a trend going forward. But offensively, I mean, there's still a lot of Coronas out. I mean, those guys haven't been practicing. They only had 1 day of practice last week. It's hard to kind of get into a flow offensively when you can't throw passes to your wideouts and you can't throw the ball around. You can't run a little group offense. So it's a little difficult for a lot of those guys right now to kind of offensively to get into a rhythm.
Do you feel like this is a team that could be dangerous in the playoffs, given the fact that all those excuses go out the window now?
I hate our defense. Like, there's nothing about our defense that I like outside of Myles Garrett. I don't think we can cover anybody. So I have the same feeling for Ohio State too. But I just don't trust our defense enough to kind of say, hey, we can make a little magic run. We do have some formulas that we do well that traditionally works in postseason football, which is we're going to run the ball. We're not going to turn the ball over a whole bunch. So those are things going forward you can kind of look to. But at the same time as, you get to a 14, 15-point lead, and next thing you know, it's a one-score game. So I don't really just like our defense all that much to kind of say, yeah, we have something that we can kind of win a game or two and maybe get hot like Tennessee last year.
Is that your biggest concern, is your defense?
For me, yeah. My biggest concern is our defense. We just can't stop nobody.
All right. Jamie, do you have a weigh in on this?
I mean, I was focused on the other 1:00 game, the Cowboys-Giants. It broke my heart. But when I was watching the Browns, I mean, they looked rather okay. They struggled against the combination of Mason Rudolph and Josh Dobbs, so that's kind of hard to look past for me from an outside point of view. And my Browns friends that were commenting on the game, all I heard was Stefanski sucks. Stefanski's calling a terrible game right now. Been riding high on this guy. As soon as you had a little bit of pressure, everybody hated him. I don't know.
Coach Seidel saying, honestly, Browns are playing with house money this year. The offense basically looks complete, but the defense with all the injuries in the secondary, with a good draft and some smart free agent moves, next year could be even bigger. Well, you know what? Let's just pull it away. Hang on, Quinn. So when somebody says they play with house money, I think that doesn't really apply to the NFL, because the NFL, your team can go from first to worst in 1 year, right? It's the fastest. Your draft picks can help you thrive into the next year, but it can also, you don't take 11 and 5 for granted, because you can, and Browns fans know, just that quick you can go 5-11 the next year. So I don't think necessarily that house money is what the Browns should be playing with right now. I think they should be playing with a chip on their shoulder, and there is no tomorrow kind of deal. That's house money. I think I know what Coach was trying to get at, but house money is probably not what we're looking at. Betos, DJ, do you think that the Browns can still beat Kansas City? Yeah, I do. Given the right set of circumstances, I do, because again, I think Billy has a legitimate argument that there's got to be some buildup. There's got to be some chemistry. And if you go back to that Baltimore game, that's what put Cleveland on the map. I mean, Tennessee helped a lot, but Baltimore, people in a national primetime game, they saw Cleveland and they were like, wow, that's a pretty impressive game that they held up with a very good Baltimore team. So I'm interested. Quinn, what were your thoughts on yesterday?
One, I'm happy that we're in the playoffs, because it's been since 2002, 2003 area. And I was in second grade then, so that kind of scares me. I think there's some big problems that were.
Which time in the second grade?
My first time in the second grade. But there's some big problems that we still have. Defense is terrible, it just is. I think Coach Seidel was right on the money though with the offense. It's actually clicking and it looks good. Defensively though, we're terrible, and pretty much we made Mason Rudolph look really good. yesterday, and I can only imagine what Roethlisberger's going to do. Not to mention we gave up 4 sacks without pretty much with me rushing the quarterback. So I think there's some big problems coming this weekend. But as always, go Browns. We're going to win Super Bowl. Let's go.
Richie, what's your thoughts on your beloved Brownies?
Yeah, I think everybody's problem is the defense. I mean, they've just been banged up all year. You never know if Denzel Ward's going to be out there, one of the best corners in the league. You got a couple guys that we drafted that haven't played a single game all year. Taki's been hurt. Now Vernon's going to be out for the playoffs. So, it's definitely concerned defensively. Offensively, it's, kind of a question mark because, you can't really judge when this team has been practicing out of a parking garage against New York, and then they come back and they also have some key weapons out against the Steelers. So, I mean, it's hard to judge in the last couple weeks here for week 16 and week 17 if the offense is clicking, but who knows? If we have a full staff back against Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs, I think we're going to do quite well.
James Bartell saying half of the Browns starting secondary was out. I mean, here's the thing. This is what bothers, and I'm not gonna point Ty at your dad, but this is what I get from all Browns fans is we only beat the Steelers second string, third string, whatever. We beat the JV Steelers, as they're calling themselves, by 2 points. But we didn't have this guy and we didn't have this guy. Nobody's gonna have all the this is what Browns fans need to understand. At this point in the season, you're not gonna have the people that you rely on all the time. And you add COVID into that mix, it's like the worst tasting birthday cake you could ever make from scratch. Because, there's days you're not going to have your running back. There's days, and relatively speaking, let's be real, minus the Jets game, the Browns have been unscathed with their COVID. Am I wrong?
I listened to an interview yesterday on ESPN on the radio, and they said that the Browns Steelers game was going to be played on Sunday, because the Browns have the most COVID players out right now, and they're able to come back on Sunday, not Saturday. So there was zero chance that the game was going to be on Saturday. From what this guy was saying, he was tied into the networks, like TV networks, which is crazy to think that the NFL would do any team a favor if that's the case. If it was strictly just like, hey, let's throw these guys a bone and put them on Sunday instead of Saturday.
They got that primetime schedule, too. They want that money. It's Browns and Steelers, man. It's that rivalry that hasn't been there for years. The NFL wants that money. That's why they threw them in primetime, too.
Yeah, they're not stupid.
I mean, the playoff game is going to be watched, period. I mean, the playoff game is going to be watched by a ton of people. It doesn't really matter who's going to be in it.
Good. I'm hoping he means good.
Yeah, I don't know what a food running team is.
Well, Kansas City and Green Bay, you got cheese and barbecue, so... but yeah, I mean, a good running team can beat anybody because they control the clock. So, we don't see too many of them out there, and Cleveland is one of them, and Baltimore is another. I don't think anybody's going to confuse Pittsburgh with a good running football team right now. How about J.C. Treader acting as player coach yesterday? Kind of a cool story. I missed that one. I missed that one. So, Ty, I mean, you break down what you saw from a Cleveland and Pittsburgh standpoint yesterday.
I mean, from what I saw too, I mean, it was Pittsburgh. They were resting their guys, getting ready for the playoffs. Browns had guys out, but I mean, like you said, guys are always out. As a New England fan, I saw them go on Super Bowl runs without Gronk for years. He was injured without Edelman. It's always next man up mentality. That's how you have to be for a gladiator type sport that football is, right? I think honestly, I'm just excited for the fact that this is going to be a playoff game between them, and I think Pittsburgh and Cleveland fans alike just take a second and enjoy it, because this is something that hasn't happened in a long time. Both teams are actually very competitive right now, and they're going to be going off against each other in a playoff game. And I think that's going to be really fun to watch, to see these two teams. You're going to have to bring your best guns in, what you got, next man up mentality. Let's give everything we got. I mean, Ben, it seems like he found it there against the Colts, right? I mean, the Steelers offense seemed like they're finding it. You said the Browns seem to be falling off, but I mean, chips on the Steelers' shoulder, I think. They've been there before, right? They have that experience of being in the playoffs, so that's definitely going to help them going forward. And the Browns, this is obviously their first time with any of these guys going to the playoffs, so it's going to be hard for them. I mean, it obviously falls on Baker Mayfield's shoulders if he can make the right plays in the right situation, taking care of the ball. Nick Chubb's going to get a bunch of rushes, but I mean, it's the Steelers' rushing defense that's going to counteract that. So I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. But I mean, like I said, I think the Browns and Steelers prime time on Sunday. I think it's a good thing for both fan bases to have both these teams competitive again and have that old rivalry back.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, right? Because we've gone, as a Steelers fan, we've gone from a rivalry with the Ravens, at the peak of James Harrison's career, to then we turned to the Cincinnati Bengals with all that they did to Antonio Brown, and now you got the Browns again, and it's so weird.
I can't call it a rivalry until we beat Big Ben. Just can't.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
I mean, I hate the Steelers. Don't get me wrong. I don't
everybody.
I don't think there's any confusion in that. But I just, as a Browns fans, should not be calling it a rivalry until we beat Big Ben. Or we got to bring something else to the table.
Corey Miles seems to think that it's going to be the Steelers and Packers in the Super Bowl. That'd be interesting.
And I mean, Steelers fans can't go into this. I mean, and I don't think Mike Tomlin. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is more of a fan base because I don't think Mike Tomlin is not taking the Browns seriously. Because I mean, Mike Tomlin takes everybody that steps up, I think, seriously. He gets his team ready. But I mean, don't think that this is going to be a cakewalk. Every team's in the playoffs for a reason, and I mean. I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns could pull off an upset. I don't think it's going to happen just because you're in Heinz Field. Steelers have been here before. This is their show. They've done this plenty of times over the past few years. But the Browns, they could pull off the upset if they're not careful, if you're not taking them seriously. But I do think Mike Tomlin will have his team ready to go.
I got to think that home field advantage more now than ever doesn't mean jack. It means absolutely nothing because you're playing,
fans, or limited.
Yeah, I mean, now, yesterday I heard there had to be some sound piped in because there's no way that, what was it, 5,000, 10,000 people in that stadium? I don't care. It never sounds that full whenever there's people there, So I don't know if they did it just over the broadcast or they did it in the stadium or what, but it sounded like it was loud there. So it's interesting. Is Joe Hayden going to be back? I've heard no. I've heard the answer is no on that. But this is going to sound weird, and I'm going to sound like a Browns fan saying this, is I don't think Joe Hayden really necessarily helps us in this situation because I don't know how to explain it. Browns fans know what I'm talking about. Like, he's a big name, a good cornerback.
When you need Joe Hayden, he is gone.
Yeah, he burns you. He burns you pretty good sometimes. So I'm not so sure.
Comes up hurt, or when you need him the most, he comes up hurt, or he's getting beat over the top for a touchdown.
Kansas City gets upset division round by Ravens, Steelers. Kansas City gets upset division round by Ravens. Steelers versus Ravens for the AFC title game.
Are you wishing on a star?
We're just doing pipe dreams right now, I think, that's what we're discussing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Team. Like, that's the pinnacle right there. And I feel like anyone going through the AFC, that's the team you have to go through.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also think that they don't have favorable matchups. You know who I think got the short end of the stick here? Buffalo. Buffalo has to play Indy. And I think Indy has the players to make this a really, really good football game.
I don't care about Buffalo.
We know, Quinn.
Screw Buffalo.
I guess the question goes to you, DJ. Are you on the Bills train or are you on the Phillip Rivers train for that matchup?
Bills. I hate Phillip Rivers.
Come on.
And you know what? I hate all of his kids, all 7 dwarves or 9 dwarves or whatever he's got, and they can all probably throw better than he can. Like, I just want to walk down it, throw normal. Like, he's that kid in t-ball that you're trying to fix their stuff the entire, like, hey, no, okay, little step and throw, step and he just nah, but it's like always on the mark. Like, you can't knock him because it's always there. And then he has that face, that Phillip Rivers, like, he's such a D-bag. Like, I hate him so much. Like, I don't hate people. Like, if Phillip Rivers ever popped in here, I would be, Phillip, you stink. Get out. But he doesn't stink. That's the worst part about Phillip Rivers that I hate. He doesn't stink. He looks like he stinks. He's got 9 kids. Good for him. But like, throw a ball like a man, son. Throw the ball like a man. Gosh, he's so. Why'd you have to bring him up? We weren't going to talk about him at all, and you got to bring up Phillip Rivers.
See, now how it feels when us Browns fans think about Ben Roethlisberger.
What's wrong with Ben?
He just doesn't look like he's going to be that good, but he's just so good. And it's always
why? Because, is it the fact that he scrambles like a pregnant woman trying?
Yes, I mean he just
trying to get to a toilet
out there, but he just torches us every time he plays us. I mean,
he's
before
hugging
Baker Mayfield, he had the best record and most wins in freaking First Energy Stadium.
I don't hate Phillip Rivers because he beats my team. I hate him because he looks like a douchebag. Like, he throws the ball like a kid in like that's not supposed to be playing baseball or football. Like the kid from Sandlot. He just grew up. He's Phillip Rivers. Like, he's Phillip Rivers. That's who he is. If Phillip Rivers wore a hat, I would expect him to wear that stupid long ass hat that he wore in Sandlot with a trout on it, because that's Phillip Rivers. Like, Phillip Rivers doesn't even, like, he's got to take a limousine home for his kids, but you know damn well that there's like one of those, like, those fishing rods, because if they see a good spot along the way home from Indianapolis to San Diego, that they're going to stop and have a heart-to-heart, and he's going to teach his kids about the birds and the bees. Like, that's why I hate Phillip Rivers. I think about all the things that could possibly go on in that family. Like, think about how long that dinner table is. Like, and then your dad sitting there is Phillip Rivers. Just pass me the casserole, Dad. Wait a minute, don't, because I don't know what you're doing with your arm right now. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like,
every time I think of Phillip Rivers, I think of a hippie.
I need to pull up this Phillip Rivers face I'm thinking of right now, because I don't think anybody knows.
Phil's the best. I love me some Phil Rivers. I'm not even gonna lie. I've always loved Phil Rivers. Probably because I throw the ball weird too. So
I like the face. The face. That's all it is. Everybody knows the face.
He's angry, man. It's awesome.
I'm going to tell you how I feel about Phillip Rivers. I hate the guy. I have a question for everyone, says Michael Page. As a head coach candidate, where would you want to go out of all the open teams? I'd have to say the Chargers.
Jacksonville.
Atlanta. I like Atlanta. What about you other guys?
The Jags. Definitely the Jags, because they got #1 pick. I saw they have 10 other picks. They have a whole bunch of salary cap. Well, I mean, they were good in the past. What makes you think you can't make them good again, especially when you're getting T-Law?
There ain't a thing wrong with the Chargers' offense, though. Their defense needs to be fixed. You already got a quarterback for the future. You got wide receivers for days. Keenan Allen, Michael Williams. There's just tons of guys over there. And then Atlanta, you got some good ones too. Figure out how to run the ball a little bit more to spell that defense, that terrible defense in Atlanta. I'd probably go with San Diego or Los Angeles, whatever. Chargers.
Go to the Jets. They don't fire you in the middle of the year. They give you they have so much patience with you. You could be the worst coach on the planet and you'd still get 2 years out of it.
Where is this? I'm trying to find this Phillip Rivers face. Somehow my internet's off and we're still on, so chalk that up as a win. This probably has something to do with Phillip Rivers.
Well, I went down here a minute ago, like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I went down too. I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah, mine says that I'm not connected to the internet right now. So this is, I mean, it's a God thing right now. God likes the fact that I'm trashing Phillip Rivers. He's going to let me keep talking about it. And here we go. All that being said, circling back to where we started, I think the Steelers win. The spread is 4. I don't necessarily believe that is going to be indicative of the game. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, no pun intended. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be. I don't like the Browns' chances since they lost Vernon. I really don't, because you're only going to have rushing off of one side, one edge. Quinn and I talked about it earlier off the air. I don't think I was most impressed with the Steelers' defense getting to the quarterback as much as they did with as little as pressure as they had, because you don't have TJ. Highsmith is turning into a beast of his own. There was no Cam Hayward, I forget his name, whatever. Alu was out. So, I mean, I was not terribly impressed. There's a lot of Steelers that are saying, whoa, you beat our second string. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we only lost by 2 with some backups. So it makes me feel better. Giving Ben a week off makes me feel even better because he's sitting there watching from his own television or whatever he gets, inside feeds to the game. I feel like Ben's going to have a big game.
I feel like that would make me more nervous. Don't you think? I mean, he's been struggling a lot coming up into the Indianapolis game, so they finally click, and then he has a week off.
No, I don't think he's got to worry about anything. I think he's got that job as long as he wants it, to be quite honest with you.
Well, I'm not saying him losing the job. I'm talking about just being in sync. That's all I'm saying.
I think yesterday did more for his receivers and more for his backs in getting them involved and getting them some confidence than him playing that yesterday would have. And quite honestly, I think you'd rather play the Browns than the Dolphins. You're familiar with the Browns. You know what you're going to get. The Dolphins, you haven't seen them all year. You have no clue. They've got Tua, which a lot of people are poo-pooing right now, and I think that's a mistake. And you've got Lynn Bowden, who has been kind of exploding on the scene in his own terms. So Steelers don't do well with those half-C players like they used to have in Cordell Stewart, and I think they would be in big, big trouble if they played a team like the Dolphins. And quite honestly, if they've got to play the Ravens again, it's going to be a rough road for them. Lions, with me, they can't get any worse. Oh, that can't get any worse. Okay, learn how to read, DJ. Just because you're trying to read Jeff Bezos' calligraphy doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Corey saying, what's your guys' take on Ohio State? We're going to talk about Ohio State after the break. Is Justin Fields going to be 100%? That's a valuable topic for us. Lost by 2 with Scrubs, and then won by 31. Steelers by 14. Aaron and I talked about it a little bit last night. Paige saying, do you think Ben retired if they win it all? If so, please win it all.
He's got that contract though for next year.
Oh yeah, he's not going to retire. I think he retires next year.
24 million guaranteed right next year.
I think he's on the cap for 41. So it's going to hurt.
The guaranteed money.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. I would say there's a lot of people, myself included, that were smiling at the end of the game yesterday, if you're a Steelers fan, because Mason Rudolph isn't all that bad. He had one big mistake yesterday, and that was the pick that Quinn could have thrown on the run and threw literally right to him. So I'd be. Why did you shake your head at that? Because you know that's what you would do.
He's not that good.
He ain't that bad.
We made him look good. Plain and simple. He's not that good. He went 8-8. That's not good.
Quinn. He's really good. Yes, he's super good.
Superstar. Go ahead. Get rid of Roethlisberger.
Coach said, I can't help but still wonder if there isn't a package coming with Chubb and Hunt together. I mean, probably. I would imagine. I don't know why you'd wait for that, though. Like, if you don't win yesterday, what are you holding it on for? Paige says he stinks. Okay. I hope he does stink. I do. For our good, because guess what? If Rudolph doesn't work out, we'll go find another guy. And that guy will own the Cleveland franchise for the next 20 years, the same way Roethlisberger did. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. If I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm saying, I like Rudolph. Let the nose glow, baby. Let the nose glow. Before we take a break, want to just mention, as always, that actually I shouldn't say as always because we're starting this new. As soon as I can find the pictures, here we go. I think where to go. All right, this is stupid.
It's on there. It's on there. Yeah.
Is it? I can't see it.
Yeah, it's on.
My internet's down. All right,
this segment by Baird Brothers.
There we go. This segment brought to you by Baird Brothers, the first ever corporate sponsor of YSN. We want to thank Scott Baird and all of the folks over at Baird Brothers for all they do. Great things here for and on YSN. If you want or need something that is all-purpose hardwood from your flooring all the way to butcher blocks, make sure you head over to BairdBrothers.com. Proud supporter of YSN. See, it's still not. Is it gone now?
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, so my internet's jacked up. So this is Real
Well,
interesting.
We're going on break, and I'll be the host on the way out.
All right.
There we go.
Go ahead, buddy.
Take us to break, DJ.
DEL Lift Rentals and Sales is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience. We specialize in lifts of all types and sizes, including forklifts, scissor lifts, and boom lifts. We offer low rates and long-term rentals, as well as fast on-time delivery, often free in the local area. We also sell a variety of used equipment. Visit us at werentlifts.com or at 7891 Southern Boulevard in Boardman, or by phone at 330-549-0855.
DEL is your local lift expert.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
I can't see anything. I'm so screwed. Oh gosh, my screen's completely black. All right, let's go with this one. Welcome Youngstown East, guys. Before we talk about Ohio State, let's talk about Youngstown East being the 53rd school to be added to the YSN family. Congratulations, Youngstown East. It's been a long road, and I'm so proud to have the Bears on with us. And with that said, let's see if this plays. We have this has been on social all day for us. Let's see if we can get this to play. Is it over?
Yeah, it's over.
Welcome back.
I'm flying blind, boys. Can you see my picture?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'm completely out of it right now. So we'll try to get this fixed. But let's talk about the Ohio State game. Let's talk about both of those semifinal games. You got Ohio State beating Clemson. You've got Notre Dame that came up short against Alabama. Let's go around the horn right now. Billy, I know you've been chomping at the bit for this one. Take me through both games and your reactions to the wins and losses.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't recognize the team I saw when we're talking about Ohio State. That team looked a little different. I'll be honest. Sermon seems to be a man possessed right now. He's just running all up and down the field on anybody. He kind of has that late push, not quite like Zeke, but kind of Zeke numbers. Justin Fields, you talk about how he took an incredible hit that unfortunately, I hate these rules that guys are getting ejected, but it was a letter of the law. I mean, that's kind of what it is. You leave with the crown of your helmet, you're going to get tossed out. Another captain of their team, they had the defensive call, both defensive callers, one in the backfield and out in the first half, and then their defensive captain basically out for the whole game for Ohio State or for the Ohio State Clemson game. Ohio State looks like they're on a mission right now. Wade, to me, is the issue, is the reason why we probably will not win a national championship. Because they got a bad dude over there in Alabama in Smith, and he is going to go for 400 yards plus. Everything that they were talking about in that game about Wade, breaking off on wide receivers and not really kind of running that press man that they want, and even in the weak zone, he's just not the guy. I mean, he's a great talent. He's not a first-grade talent. He's probably not even a second-grade talent. Maybe if he's a second-grade talent, he's late end. We have nobody to cover. So basically it means we're going to be in the zone, and that means we're going to get torched down the field.
All right, Jamie, your thoughts on the Ohio State game?
I mean, like Billy said, did not look like the team we've seen all year whatsoever. They came out firing on all cylinders, and they really did a good job of shutting down Lawrence and especially Etienne. Etienne, he did not have a good day at all. And I think Trey Sermon is the second coming of Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, just watching him run the ball, going over people, lowering that shoulder, and when they grabbed him around the neck and he just threw him off and kept going, that looked like Zeke right there. And you kind of touched on it with Sean Wade. I said it too. He's a great slot corner. He can't cover anybody on the outside, and it's going to be a problem because Devontae Smith is legit. Then they've got Surtain on the defensive side, Alabama. He's going to lock down Olave or Wilson, so he's really going to cut the field in half. It's going to be a tough game. I think it will be high scoring, but I got a bad feeling, man. I got a real bad feeling that we might not be able to come out on top over Bama, but I haven't watched this jersey since the game. I'm wearing it all week long. You're going to have some good luck. Buckeyes. OH.
Oh, the old Ty Bartell move is wear the same shirt for luck. Richie, your thoughts on the Ohio State Clemson game?
Yeah, I mean, the Buckeyes just play better when they're underdogs. I mean, they're not underdogs too often, but when they are, they play well. I mean, you look back at 2014 when nobody thought they had a chance against Bama, came out, pounded them. You got Dabo Sweeney saying that the Buckeyes are the number 11 team in the country, according to his rankings. They come out and they shut him up, and the crowd, is giving Dabo heck after the game, chanting his name. So, I just think the Buckeyes play better when they are the underdog. And, looking at Alabama, yes, they're the best team in the country. They put up those numbers all year long. But, when it comes down to the national championship, Ohio State's always ready. I think Sermon's clicking at the right time. He's run really well the last couple of weeks. Fields looks his best right now, even with a couple cortisone shots in his body. And the offensive line is playing well for Ohio State. So I think that's a deadly combo on offense. Of course, just like our Brownies, the Buckeyes' defense is always the question mark. So if the defense can play like they did in the second quarter against Clemson, I think Ohio State actually has a good chance to win this game.
Ty?
Yeah, and you know what? And I was one of those doubters that they should be there with only 6 wins under their belt, right? And I said to everybody that if they're going to be there, they better show out against Clemson, because if you go in and you get stomped by Clemson, you're just going to prove everybody right that you shouldn't have been in the first place. But they handled their business. They took care of Clemson and handled them in pretty convincing fashion too. With what Richie said, they were chanting Dabo's name after the game because of where he ranked him. I wouldn't have ranked him as far as 11, but yeah, they're going to have a tough challenge on their hand with Bama. But they do play better as underdogs too, so it's going to be a good matchup, I think, between these two. It's going to come down to the Buckeyes defense, but I mean, heck, man, Trey Sermon, with the way he's running right now, I don't think if you're an NFL team and you need a back right now, I might be looking at Trey Sermon right now with the way he's produced it, with his size, the way he can run. I don't know, man. If you need a back right now, Sermon might be the way to go.
I don't know any teams that would need a running back at this point. All the playoff teams have great running games, right? Right?
James Conner stinks.
Kevin Colbert, right? Mac, shut up. Nobody. Your evaluation of talent is like I said the other night. You're like Mr. Magoo of the scouting process. Ryan Day is a tactician. He's done a really good job since taking over from Meyer. I think he's improved Ohio State in a way that they modernized it, because I feel like Urban Meyer was behind the 8 ball as the game was kind of changing a little bit in college football, the way they were running plays and everything. I feel like Ryan Day came in with that fresh and mentality and kind of really helped propel Ohio State. Over under on how many letters Jeff would butcher in spelling tactician?
I think he would
At least
nail it.
4.
9.
No, there would be an S and an H in there for tactician.
I think he would nail it.
Like spell nail it, or
I think he would be all right with that. First go.
So. I don't think so. He'll take a screenshot of that on his phone or ask Siri to, and then what he'll do is he'll study it and be like, "Hey scumbags, by the way, this is how you spell tactician." And then he'll spell it. All right, so my question then changes to, and this will be the last one before our G. Burby Farms, what's your beef? Is for me, the question becomes, can Ohio State take that underdog role that they love to play in because they don't get it very often and roll the tide? My answer is no. Cy, what's your answer?
It's gonna be. It depends on the X factor is Justin Fields to me, man. I mean, it's gonna be a great quarterback matchup either way, but I mean, it depends on how Justin Fields gears up because it's not Urban Meyer versus Saban anymore. It's Ryan Day, and this is his first dance there, and Saban's been there plenty of times, so it comes down again to experience. You know, Saban's gonna have his guys ready and prepared against anybody they face because that's just who Saban is. I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, it's Ryan Day's gonna have to figure out something with the defense. He's gonna have to figure out something because you can't just make Wade better and be able to guard guys now. You're gonna need to do something. So I mean, it comes down to Ryan Day's coaching, but I feel like the Tide are gonna pull this one off.
How about Page dropping a couple nice little bombs here? Nobody thinks Fields is going to come out like that again, right? I think that's something nobody is talking about, and you just can't pencil Fields in for 4 to 5 touchdowns. I didn't see him coming out like that. He certainly had something to prove, but after he took that hit and the ejection you could feel the tide of the game change right then and there in favor of Ohio State and away from Clemson. But I agree with Page here as well. Iowa State is coming next year. I really like their team. Matt Campbell is the truth, and I think Campbell he's a Mount Union guy, and I'm really proud of the effort and what he's brought to the national stage. And you've got John Haycock on that staff as well, which is a former YSU head coach. I'm kind of a hot and cold Ohio State fan. I only root for the team because we live in Ohio. But Iowa State's got my eye, boys, and I can't deny it. There's Ohio guys over there leading this squad. Billy,
they still got to go through Oklahoma. I mean, it's Oklahoma's division until it's not. The same thing as the Big Ten. So until you can consistently kind of show you're there against Oklahoma every year, I mean, that's it. And Oklahoma's got a ton of Ohio people over there too. So
Munson is proud that Coach Seidel spelled Oklahoma correct, I think is what he's trying to get to right there. Jamie, what was your thoughts on Ohio State playing the underdog again? Do you think they've got what it takes to win a natty against this Alabama defense? And the Alabama offense ain't too bad either, but their defense is pretty stout.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that typical Bama SEC defense that you've seen, really of the past year. So I think we're going to put up some points that over. I definitely think that it's going to be hit. Defensively, Ohio State, and I don't know how the hell you're going to do it, but you got to stop Najee Harris and Devontae Smith and just force Mac Jones to win the game. And don't ask me how you're going to do that because those are two of the best players in all of college football. But you've got to figure out something there because if you're getting into a shootout with them, I don't know, man. It just seems like Bama always finds a way to force a turnover once or twice a game.
I think what's great, I think what's good about this Alabama offense is defensively you don't have to account for the quarterback run game. So that's something that they can kind of maybe pack some guys in. I think they're going to switch up from zone to man. They don't necessarily have to sit there and pay attention to a read option or a quarterback draw or a sweep or anything with the quarterback kind of creating issues with their legs. So that's something that's good for Ohio State because if they had to deal with that on top of Najee and Smith, no, it would be a long day for that Buckeyes defense.
Richie, you have any final thoughts on this? Put a bow on it?
I always think that Ohio State has a chance no matter what. I mean, they're one of the best talented teams on the field. They're always one of the best well coached. So, you never put away the Buckeyes in any situation. So, as an Ohioan, as a Buckeye fan since the day I was born, I'm always going to have faith in the team that, they could go out there and they could get a W.
Naturally, we will not release our picks until next Monday at this time. So just keep those in your back pocket. They will come with scores. So keep in mind, they will come with scores right now. The over-under is at 75.5.
Yep.
So, that's a lot of points. That is a ton of points. And Alabama, a 7-point favorite, I believe, the last time I checked. So it'll be interesting to see which way that goes, if it moves at all with the bets or with injuries or things that come up. And guys, I know we don't talk about it a lot because it's everywhere we go, but you got to believe with COVID that these guys are bubbled up. on campus or off campus to make sure that nobody loses anybody for this national championship game with so much on the line. Paige saying, speaking of QB run, how the hell did Browns not know Josh Dobbs was running read option when he was in the game? I'm easier said than done, I guess. Bama has had a bad pass defense. Ohio State will pass all over them. Clemson was better on the pass than Bama. I like this Corey Miles. Welcome to the show, Corey. I think this is your first time commenting, and I hope it's not your first time watching. But I certainly want you to contact me because I'd love to play some wagers with you on your thoughts and how you feel about Ohio State right now. I feel, and I'll lead off we're going to do it a little bit different, guys, moving forward. You get a filet or you get a beef. We're not going to do both of them because I think that's sometimes getting one out of you guys is tough enough. So let's just go one or the other. You can filet it or you can beef it. Beef, obviously, you want to put somebody on blast, and filet is you want to raise somebody up. Today, I've got a couple beefs that I've got to get off my chest. I usually go last, but I got to go first because right now the internet is pissing me off. Quinn is gone. He is somewhere in the middle of the nebula that we know as the internet because he just disappeared, and he's not even coming out of the back. Like, he could come out here right now, sit next to me, and we could, share a square. But that hasn't happened. Oh, here we go. There's Quinn. My beef is the damn internet. We run an internet company, and I'm running on one leg here with the internet because my phone won't work with the Wi-Fi, and I'm looking at a black screen right now. I've got no idea what's going on at all.
I tell you, like minute 15, I think Richie got kicked. I was getting kicked. I was just spinning. So I really thought I was gone. I just I grabbed my phone and started playing on my phone. I can hear you guys though. So
there he is. All right. So my beef is the internet, number one. Beef number two is, listen, there's nobody that's happier when people are happy than I am, right? And I don't even care. Like, the Steelers lost. Can we just pump the brakes sometimes? Like, can we be good winners? Can we be like people that like learn how to win? That's all I'm asking. Ohio State fans, I've said this before. The majority of Ohio State fans are the worst, because they are terrible winners, and then on Sunday they're mostly Browns fans, and they're even worse losers. So here we are. The Buckeyes win on Friday, and then the Browns win on Sunday. It is like the worst because it's just never. It's the perfect storm. However, I will say this without giving anything away: as drunk as you have been the last 3 days, the hangover's coming. I really do. The hangover's coming because on Sunday and Monday, I guess on Monday and Tuesday, man, y'all are going to be really upset and really angry. I do believe. I could be eating my words next time, next Tuesday at this time, but I got a feeling that the hangover's coming. So just make sure that your words are soft, right? Because you might have to chew them later. Somebody dear to me once told me that before. All right, Ty, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to have a filet today, and I guess it's time to make a trip down to old Louisville. So spot up, Leopards. You're next.
Goldberg in the box up there. Mac, you're up.
Okay, first off, how you talk about Browns fans and Buckeye fans is exactly what we've been dealing with Steeler fans for the history of time. Okay, so sometimes you just gotta look in the mirror and go, you know what? Maybe not you personally, but Steeler Nation, you guys are scumbags too. Okay, so that's just kind of how I feel about that. Now, my filet tonight is I have like 7 new people tonight coming into Max Baseball, so I'm super stoked about that. And I got some really cool things planned for them and some new people coming in forward too. So I'm real stoked about having going to work tonight.
Free candy at Max Baseball Academy tonight for the newcomers. Jamie, what's your beef or filet?
I guess I'll go with the filet here. I mean, I've been locked in the house for, what is this, like day 5 or 6 now. So it's really sucked. But my girlfriend, she's gone out, got me some Dairy Queen, got me some Jib Jab breakfast yesterday. She's watching right now. So thank you for that. I mean, it sucks being locked in here, but thankfully she's been getting me some stuff.
Can you do one of these for her? There it is. Candy for Jamie's girlfriend at Max Baseball Academy tonight. Richie, top us off.
I don't really know if this is a beef or a filet, but I think both fan bases just need to realize how passionate we are about our teams. I mean, the Steelers and the Browns have some of the best fan bases in America. And you know what? The Browns fans, they're going to get excited when they make the playoffs for the first time in 2 decades. And you know what? The Steelers fans, they're going to have to deal with it. They decided not to play their starters. All right, that's the one thing, which is fair. I think it's a fair point. They decided not to play their starters. And 2, you're on the road in Cleveland, and this is the first time in 12 years that the Browns have beat the Steelers in the final week of the season. So I think both fan bases just need to realize, all right, the Browns fans, they're going to get happy. All right, they're going to get happy. They're going to be all over Twitter, all over Instagram, and rightfully so, because this is the first time that we're able to kind of enjoy this moment. So I think everybody just needs to realize, all right, when the Steelers win, they're going to be excited. They're going to go on Twitter, and they're going to rub it in the Browns' face. And when the Browns win, they're going to do the same. So it should be a mutual respect.
Here's my question, and this is something that I asked Quinn earlier. The Browns fan and Colin Dunlap of 93.7 The Fan.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
okay. You win the division title, you get a hat and T-shirt. Mike Tomlin's referred to it. It's a T-shirt game, right? Why would you want a T-shirt that just said you got into the playoffs?
Well, it was a gift.
Still,
I mean, that was. I don't know if you're familiar with like GB Artwork, but that's like a big Cleveland brand now for T-shirts and everything.
Let me ask you something, Richie. If you got a T-shirt for passing kindergarten, would you wear it proudly?
I mean, if I was in kindergarten, maybe.
Wait, you're comparing kindergarten to the playoffs?
Yeah, you got in. You passed kindergarten, and the Browns got into the playoffs in a COVID year. Yes,
we would have got in anyway. We being the 6th seed.
Yeah, I'm saying. You got in. You got in the playoffs. You don't deserve a T-shirt for getting into the playoffs. Win a division, because that's all I heard about for 2 weeks was how you were going to come and win the division. Then that didn't happen, and then now you want T-shirts for just getting in. So participation trophies apparently are good enough for the Browns. So enjoy it. I hope you all get those T-shirts, by the way.
I'd like a T-shirt.
I mean, if they were given to me, I'd go get one.
I'm sure you would because. Well, I'm just going to leave that there. It's business, baby. I get it. I understand it. DJ sounds like Cowherd comparing football to winning yesterday. I don't listen to Cowherd. I hate Cowherd. Like, I despise Colin Cowherd to the point where I will put pictures of myself on Twitter, which I hardly ever do, smoking a cigar because he's a flaming butthole. Steelers
so
literally did the same thing. There are Steelers playoff shirts from other. I don't remember playoff shirts. I've never bought a Steelers playoff shirt. I've bought a Steelers AFC North, AFC Central, all those things I bought. I've never bought Steelers playoffs. Just like I never buy the AFC Championship hat because I'm hoping for a Super Bowl championship hat. We'll get T-shirts when we beat Pittsburgh too. All right. You can have those T-shirts. But make sure that you wear the ones that I get you, Paige, whenever you don't. So just be ready. Just be ready. You guys want T-shirts, we'll get T-shirts. I got no problem working with our guy over at Fresh Prince Youngstown for some T-shirts and also Buckeye Clothing Company. We'll see. He's a Browns fan, though, so I doubt he'll ever do anything for the Steelers. The Brown shirts should say we finished 3rd in a 4-team division. I don't disagree. Pletch is onto something.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
No, he's not.
I think he is, Mac. I think he is.
Quinn, make sure you save this clip here.
What's that?
It's Quinn. We're good.
Quinn's right here.
I know. I was hoping that maybe he'd watch it over. Never mind. He would never watch it over.
That's going to do it for the Power Hour today. So hopefully tomorrow we have the internet back here at HQ because right now all my screen says is your browser failed to play the video clip. And I've been looking at it for about a half hour now. Again, a special thanks. We'll try to get this one up before we go. Special thanks. Can we see it? Is it up there?
Yeah. 21 FMJ.
Take it away, Billy. Do the promo for us.
Proudly presented by 21 FMJ.
Thank you very much for your sponsorship, your partnership, Channel 21. It means the world to us. Make sure if you haven't already, go download their app and the Storm Tracker 21 app as well. That way you're not left out in the cold when it comes to knowing how to suit up for the inclement weather that we're going to be facing, especially over the next few months. So that's going to do it for our show today. Special thanks to our panelists. Special thanks to you for watching this absolute crap show. And thanks to our sponsors for always being there for us. We'll see you tomorrow for Trivia Tuesday right here on YSN. We'll see you guys.